Hence you have the deferred share is regarded as non-current liability. So you have two types of liability, current and non-current. But the Bank of Jamaica does recognize deferred share with the discounting principle as I enunciated earlier. Where we were now, we were debating the matter, and we had on the floor at the time is Hilton, debate resume. Yes, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Derek Brown.
Yes, sir. Derek Brown is here.
Yeah.
Yes. You said you need a certain amount of capital to raise that level to the 2.4 million. That's
to offer more unsecured credit. I'm going to go further by saying to you, usually at this year, in the month, last year we started the month of May, and we introduced what we call a back-to-school loan. The back-to-school essentially was an unsecured loan. Because of the strictures, the intended strictures of Bank of Jamaica, and I don't want to use the word afraid, we said we are going to delay our responses to that, so we could not advertise or introduce a new unsecured loan. Already we are, as I said, we have some 1,313 members who already exceed the 1.6. Some, well, we have up to 2.4. For us to continue to, or to be allowed to continue to do business, we need for you to empower us. And the empowerment that we are seeking now is for you to decide how you can solidify the whole capital base of the credit union. One such method is to transfer your deferred share to permanent, which would make it permanent and absolutely secure. The other areas, again, you could look at is also, it could, sure, all right. Go ahead, your time.
That is what I was saying. If you want to secure it,
yes.
Why don't we transfer from the differential shares to permanent shares, and then the argument will go.
But we would require a decision here. So we are debating the matter, you know, and then we go to the decision.
Saying, if we can do it, then.
So
with the permanent shares, we will get more dividend at the end of the year, sir.
Yes, and better returns too.
And better returns.
Very good point. Very good point. No, but we don't want to. We want you know that, but we want to tell others, you know. Well, it's good you're supporting our position, you know. But as usual, we are very transparent, and we want for you to decide, make that decision, not for we to. We could use the route of going the bylaws, which you would not have a say in how it is done, except that you would be communicated with. Here is it now. Now we put it right back in your lap. Yes, you have empowered the board via the rules, because Rule 16 make provision for the board to make arrangement in terms of dealing with the redemption of both permanent and deferred share. Rule 79 also make provision for that as well. So the registrar, as I said, was of the belief that it was more comfortable to use that route, which he considered to be a legal route, rather for us using the democratic route, which we prefer. Let me put it that way. We prefer for you to say, go ahead. But what you will do here, you will now strengthen the bylaws. So whatever the bylaws say, it will be coming from here through the democratic, transmitted to the bylaws. And then both the registrar and us will be having on the same page, we'll be on the same page. So you're saying to, we must cut the debate and then put it to the vote. That's what you're saying? Or, well, first.
Every year I look to see if I can get a plate here.
Out of your dividend?
Dividends. So if that will put me up a little more, then I'm glad that other people look the same thing, because it can let them get the children go to school and get more money to get their children.
Their back to school loan.
Back to school and all those things.
All right. Well, this is Mr. Brown contributing to the debate. We're still not closing the debate yet.
All right, so.
All right. So, but your contribution is noted. Yeah. All right. And I may call on you to move a motion.
All right.
All right. Good. Yes, Mr. Hilton.
Yes, sir. Thanks for lunch.
Yeah.
Sir, I think when we have these technical situations, just wait till we come here, because it's kind of hard for you to understand all that is saying here. So all some of you are just going to say, I beg to first it and I beg to second it. I move on because we not understand.
You still don't understand?
No, sorry, it takes a little more time. And I think sometimes you should call in members on a one-to-one basis. Make some appointment with them and say, come in, we have a meeting next week. We want to discuss certain
Oh Lord, that will be a task by itself. We have
no,
over
sir, but like this
we have
is
over
a
8,000 members.
because you have a rule by the bank and you want our opinion and we move a motion to do something else. And then when we move it and next year when it starts to have an impact on us, we start to ball.
Well, you have never balled, don't it? So you have to trust us sometime, We have always acted in your interests. And perhaps you just have to trust our judgment here because you elect the board to carry out your business.
Yes,
and
sir.
So far they have been doing well. So let us our track record be the basis on which you give support then.
Yes, sir, but sometimes...
You hear that type of
Sir,
sound?
sometimes we trust the board, but sometimes you call somebody outside of the board with the
All
board.
right,
We get a
well,
better
I am giving...
understanding and we're able to break it down to members that we work with in our division.
I am giving the undertaking to you for me to have a one-to-one. All right? In office.
Okay, sir.
All right, good.
Leo, again.
Yes. No, go back to the mic.
Yes, sir. Do you have an education committee, sir? Set up,
We have even more than that. We have a marketing department.
Right, sir. So if we can more activate that marketing or education department, even with the awards. So
No, we have been using all this all source of media. Everyone you can just imagine it, and we say yes, we're on it.
but you can invite her to a one.
No, but no, well, me and she gonna talk. We're gonna do road them out. No, we're gonna do road them out, and I'm giving her that commitment. It's road them out, we're gonna talk one-to-one.
But we need to just make the education committee or the marketing department a little bit more.
All right.
Sir, one more thing. A lot of people will knock the desk and say, yeah, but they still don't understand.
I will allow you to get away with that one, Mr. Hill. But I don't want to insult our audience either, though, because all right. I know you're a nice person. Don't insult them. All right, good. All right. Any other contribution? Any other contribution going? You're coming, Mr. Oh, Mr. Lynch, coming. Dave Lynch, that is.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Sir, my recommendation is that instead of having a delay of the transfer of different share, we are to try to get that resolved like today so we can at least move on to the rest of the money.
To get some more loans. All right. Okay, good. Yes, Mr. James.
Thanks for the acknowledgement.
Yes.
You along with your committee administrators are doing a very fine job in this time that we are faced with so many adversities.
Yes.
I just want to say to this conference that this is an opportune time for us to hit the nail on the head and to maximize our true potential. We have been sacrificing over the years. We have been laboring, but today is not the time for procrastination, especially in light of the fact that every time the government shifts the dynamics, it is to our detriment. It is for us now to take a decision in the affirmative, look at what it is that we have achieved over the past, where it is that we need to go, what is required of us to get there. And I believe that moving this differential shares to a permanent share will give us a greater capital base on which to launch a massive succession. So I say to you, I'm not the greatest of economics, but I learned the hard way how to ensure that where money is leaking through the pipeline, how you can bung it, and at the same time, you will get full power out of the pipeline if you put the ingredients in it. So
Okay.
today is the day for you.
All right, okay.
I would love to say to the administration of our Noble Credit Union, you are a beacon, a trailblazer, and today I can stand and salute you because I have seen my successes. Thank you.
All right. Before you leave, Mr. James. All right, let us formalize it now. In my proposal, initially it was presented to you as a motion for resolution. I have changed it based on the discussion we have had with the registrar to a notice of motion. You want us to change it back to a motion for resolution?
Definitely, sir.
Well, go move. So move by Mr. James.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there a seconder? Seconded by Derek Brown? Okay. People want to turn and vote. So we are now gonna put it to the vote, and I'm gonna hand over back to the chairman. Good.
You know, no. The bylaws. All right. So, here it is that the discussions have been had. The whole aspect of how we proceed from here as an institution, bearing in mind the attending factors, BOJ regulations, and the whole aspect of where our whole asset base needs to be. The fact that there's a motion on the table which has been seconded, and I am seeing several other hands going up for some other terminologies, is the fact that we will now put this to the vote. So, for those who wish to refresh your memory just before you put it to the vote, I just need to, you have your books there. It's right in front of you at page 90 with all the necessary figures clearly laid out there and the intentions going forward. So for this resolution, which has been thoroughly debated by our Chief Executive Officer. By a show of hands, how say we? Those in favor?
Stand, please, stand.
All of those with your hand up, stand. Yes. Stand. Stand. It is, but we still want to ensure. Sit, please. Those against? Those against? Those against to stand? Well, any abstention? Stand. Well, the ayes have it. The motion has been successful. As the CEO did state earlier, based on the discussions with the registrar and team, that the necessary strengthening of this decision will come with the whole aspect of the bylaws that will further offer the necessary protection that needs to be. Thank you very much.
Let me say here that the representative of the registrar still has some concern. But the way we are proposing to deal with the concern is to go the route, well, they would have seen by your show of support, because that was their fear initially, that it may not achieve the attendance support. But we are now going to use this show of support to now go to the registrar to propose to them the very thing that you have done here. And it will be done via the route of the bylaws. But at least the bylaws will be consistent with the decision here today. All right?
All right. We now move to item 9 on the agenda, which speaks to the distribution of surplus. And at this time, I invite our treasurer to come back to the podium to administer this area.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Lunch was good, don't it? Okay. Distribution of surplus, as also maximum liabilities. Fixing of maximum liability. Page 95. Your board of directors recommends for your approval the proportion of the undistributed surplus of $17,423,147 to be apportioned as follows. Dividend On permanent shares, $12 million. Honorarium, $2 million. Disability fund, $1 million. And you know what we mean by disability fund. GSAT grant, $1 million. We report, the President report earlier on in his report about the GSAT grant. So therefore, we are proposing a $1 million this time around. Permanent shares reserve, 300,000.
Tertiary scholarship.
Tertiary scholarship, $800,000, sorry. Permanent shares reserve, 300. Sponsorship / donation, $323,000.
Stop there. No, go ahead. Stay right there.
While we were at lunch, I was told that the IRP from the registrar, along with the auditors, believe that the amount that we allocate for the transfer fund, having regard to even this very decision that we made earlier, perhaps need to be increased somewhat to accommodate any unexpected changes that may likely to result from the decision we just made. So I just proposing to Mr. Hunter that we could do maybe a little adjustment to the amount that is now allocated. We have 300,000, so we're maybe about 500,000, taking it from the one below and reduce the other one to 147 thereabout. I don't know. Anybody want to say anything from it? You want to, Miss Cousins? But it was consistent with that. That was your concern. That is a little bit low. All right.
So you'll make that adjustment.
So make adjustment.
Yes.
So,
Go ahead with your thing.
okay, to read.
500.
Permanent shares to read. Just read 500,000.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the CEO and the concern from the auditor. So to read, I'll go right again. Permanent dividend and permanent shares, $12 million. Honorarium, $2 million. Disability fund, $1 million. GSAT grant, $1 million. Tertiary scholarship, $800,000. Permanent shares reserve, $500,000. And sponsors and donation, $123,147. In keeping with Rule 70, your board of directors proposed that the maximum liability for the loans that the board of directors may borrow is to be set at 16 times the society capital and reserve fund. Yes, Mr. Brown. Go to the mic, Mr. Brown.
This is 12 million as dividend on permanent shares. Could you explain about what percentage would be paid on permanent shares?
18%, Mr. Brown. 18%.
So it could be 30 next year.
When we see the growth for next year, for this year to next year, we can make a decision.
Plane ticket money, Mr. Brown.
Your plane ticket will increase. Any more comment? Any questions? That's it? Yes, question? Cecil? Cecil? Hines.
Yes, I've observed that for the past, let's say 2 to 3 years, we have moved from making payment on dividend from the regular shares pool to permanent shares. What's the cause of that?
You answer that, boss? You want to take on that?
Yeah, man.
It's not that we have moved, but it's a case where it's a preference. Why so is that voluntary shares is just close to 800 million. And 12 million as a proportion of that would be about 1.5%. The permanent share is 66 million. Hence the proportion of 12 million to that is 18%. So from that perspective, we prefer to use that one. But the day we start to make more money, then we will both share it among them. So it's not that we stop. All right?
Any other comment? Any other concern? Any suggestion? Yes, Miss Williams, Hilton. Miss Williams, Hilton, coming to the mic.
Yes, sir. I don't mind if they insult me, no, sir. I have my money, so when I'm pulling out, I just go with everything.
No.
Never mind, sir. This permanent share is for 300,000, and the sponsorship donation for $323,147. So you can put 200,000 from it and put it to the permanent share. Why not pull 100,000 from it and leave 223,000? You don't know if we might have a disaster. You have to help out.
We have a disaster fund, Miss Williams.
Oh, so what this sponsorship donation is for then?
Sponsorship and donation.
Sponsorship and donation. If anybody asks for sponsorship, we can asking for something.
And that's part of our corporate responsibility.
Okay.
That's something you call corporate social responsibilities. That's corporate social responsibilities.
Okay. I didn't understand. Churches and the school. All right.
Any more comment? Any suggestion? Resolution carried. I'm putting to the vote now. Dividend have it clear? Is a proposal, Mr. Brown? Is a proposal, Mr. Brown? Be accepted. Thank you. Registrar? Hold on. Can I have a second for this, Mr. What was presented a while ago?
All right. On page 95, you have the distribution of surplus, right? So your board would have met at a legally constituted meeting and decided on this appropriation, right? Recommend. So therefore, if amendment is going to be done to this recommendation by the board, it has to be moved and seconded.
By somebody from the board? Or from
From the
the...
general membership. You can't read. Repeat? No, if you're doing an amendment to what the board proposed, it has to be moved and seconded.
Okay.
It cannot be that Mr. Brumfield is single-handedly making a changes to it. Based on the recommendation by the auditor.
Please. Please, sir. Please. What? Sir Webb. Sir Webb.
It has to be moved and seconded.
Sir Webb.
Full stop. That's it.
Yeah, but don't move. Stay right there. And please listen. What Mr. Brumfield came and said was as a result of consultation with the board based on the point made during the lunch break. So that's all that happened.
And that point is noted. But for any amendment to be done to what the board, which is a collective set of individuals, it has to be moved and seconded. Mr. Brumfield, as himself as an individual, cannot amend the proposal by the board.
Need not do that. Don't say it, because I did not do that.
So what is on the floor?
I said a concern was raised, and I shared it among the directors who are here. And if they have an objection to it, they would have made it here. They are the authority, and they are here. So why would you question it then?
Sir, for the amendment to the proposal, right, protocol and parliamentary procedures, it has to be moved, it has to be seconded. The general membership must be clear on what is being
Mr. Brown just moved the motion a while ago and it was seconded. You don't understand parliamentary procedure, man. It was moved and seconded a while ago by Mr. Brown.
And the board was consulted during lunch, Mr. Webb.
Sir, I'm saying for whatever movement is going to be done today,
Nothing no goes up.
the appropriation, it must be moved and it must be seconded.
And that was done.
Because
And that was done.
you now have two distribution of surplus on the floor. That's what I'm saying to you. You have one that is recommended by the board, which the board presents to this meeting.
Mr. Webb.
And you have another amendment that is proposed on the floor.
Mr. Webb, during lunch, the board, we have consultation based on the amendment, and we approve it. So we bring it to the meeting now we recommend the proposal, the amendment to the meeting now for their approval.
Let me educate you. Let me just appease the registrar. This conference has the power to amend what the board recommends. This conference has that power. And this motion was moved and duly seconded. So I don't know what will be the Mr. Webb issue. This conference, the board just make a recommendation. It is this conference that decide. And the conference amend it. You want to do it over? All right, don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
Okay, so I'm putting it to the membership now. And again, that we recommend okay. I am now putting it to the vote. Those in favor? Those against? Abstain? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
You know, before we move on, if I have not learned any other thing in my time in the credit union movement, is the fact that the annual general meeting is the supreme authority on which decisions are made and how the members decide who serve on the board, who serve on various committees, how their money is distributed. It is the AGM that makes all of those decisions. And this is why we see it as a very democratic process, where we come, present to you what are the facts, present to you what are the issues on the horizon, and how we ought to prepare ourselves to counter those issues, and to say, these are the issues, these are the things we need to do in order to make ready for. And as such, we crave your understanding and your indulgence. And this is why also we exercise the necessary patience in terms of person like my good friend Leonora from St. Anne, who will look forward. Some person will think that we don't want to hear from her. We look forward to Leonora coming here every AGM with her various points and questions, right? And this is how we operate, in a very democratic and frank way. And if you listen to the treasurer, he asks questions about 3 or 4 or 5 times. And when he stopped asking if there's any other question, he moved to, are there any suggestions? Then he moved from suggestions to, are there any other comments? Democratic to the T in that regard. And so we want for persons to understand that. We continue with our AGM, and we are now at the nomination committee's report. And we invite our Vice President, Ms. Jeanette Davis, to read the nomination committee's report just before we go into another crucial era of the election of officers. Ms. Davis, make her welcome, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon. Could you kind enough to turn your report to page 87? Nomination Committee's report. In accordance with Article 13, Rule 64, you're not hearing? Okay, thanks. Nomination Committee report. In accordance with Article 13, Rule 64 of the rules governing the operation of the National Securities Employees Co-operative Union Limited, not less than 30 days prior to each annual general meeting, the Board of Directors shall appoint a nomination committee of 3 members, of which no more than one may be a member of the existing Board of Directors. It shall be the duty of the nomination committee to nominate at the vacancy for which elections are being held. The following members form the nomination committee. Yours truly, VP, Mr. Anthony Lewis, Member, Credit Committee, Mrs. Tamara Maxwell Green, Chief Operations Officer. One meeting of the committee was held on Friday, April 28, 2017, where members of the committee were informed of those retiring in 2017. Retired from the Board of Directors and recommended to serve for 2 years are the following persons: Mr. George Hunter, Mr. Christopher Murdoch, Mr. Errol Adams, Mr. Andrew Johnson. Those retired from the Credit Committee and recommend to serve for 2 years: Mr. Stephen Watson, Mr. Michael Farquharson. Those retired from the Supervisory Committee and recommended to serve for 1 year are Mr. Nigel Davis, Mr. Omar Drisdale, Ms. Julian Oscar, Mrs. Sanche Miller McPherson, Mrs. Jennifer Dixon Gordon. The nomination committee is most grateful to serve in this capacity. Signed by Jeanette Davis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And at this point, pardon me. And at this point, we move to the whole aspect of the election of officers. And we ask, this era is normally presided over by a representative from the registrar. And at this point, well, I see Mr. Webb getting up from his seat. So please come along. I realize you left the gloves down there, though. You know.
Members, Board of Directors, volunteers, staff, and invited guests, good afternoon. For the proceeding of this election, I will ask for nominations from the floor. If there are nominations coming from the floor, ballots will be distributed, the votes will be taken and tallied, and all elections will be determined by a majority vote. Nomination will be valid if the nominee has fulfilled his or her obligations to the credit union and satisfy the supervisor or authority that he or she is a fit person to perform corporate management functions. Let's proceed with the Board of Directors. Retiring are Mr. George Hunter, Mr. Christopher Murdoch, Mr. Errol Adams, Mr. Andrew Johnson. Are there any nominations coming from the floor? Going once? Go ahead, sir. Identify yourself, please. Sergeant Wilson, Wayne Miller. And who do you nominate? Mr. Earl Adams. Is Mr. Earl Adams present? Oh, he's already, any other person? He's already been nominated.
Man, proud of people who perform. I see people.
Are there any other nominations coming from the floor? Going once, going twice, going thrice, no nominations coming from the floor. The following person has been duly elected to serve. We proceed to the credit committee. Retiring, Mr. Stephen Watson, Mr. Michael Farquharson. Are there any nominations coming from the floor? Going once, going twice, going thrice. No nominations coming from the floor. The following persons are duly elected. We proceed to the supervisory committee. Retiring are Nigel Davis, Omar Gisdale, Julian Oscar, Sancho Miller McPherson, and Jennifer Dixon Gordon. Is it Jennifer? Oh, Jennifer. Okay. Let's check if you're listening. Are there any nominations coming from the floor? Going once? Going twice? No nominations coming from the floor. The following persons have been duly elected. The board of directors are being reminded within 10 days after this election. The members of the board, credit and supervisory committee shall meet and elect from the complement the respective officers. Those names, address, and complement of the board and executive committees is to be forwarded to the registrar and any other registered society of which a credit union is a member. I will ask for a motion to be moved to allow the newly elected board of directors to select the delegates and alternate delegates to the Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union League. Moved by Roy Earl. Thank you. Seconded by?
Call your name, man.
Lenora Hilton. All in favor? Any against? The ayes have it. And that concludes the election process. Thank you.
All right, let me in my own right, congratulate those of my colleagues from the board, the supervisory, and the credit committee that has been duly returned. Give them a hand again. Yes. Is one other thing I said earlier. That is one thing I know. If I don't know anything else, that the AGM is the supreme authority. The other thing that I also know is that these members, you my colleagues, are very wise and sensible people. And when you get quality goods, you know how to treat with it. Inco? You know how to treat with it. All right. He and I coming from very far. I can't call him any name. We are going to, it's just after 3. We will be wrapping up in a little while from now. We are going to go to some rule amendments. And this is where the CEO will be coming back here to speak to some very powerful rule amendment, especially one that is coming up. Whilst he is still speaking with the registrar, we have some prizes. We have some prizes to give away. We have some prizes to give away. And I have gotten here from the marketing officer some questions. I am seeing 3 lovely baskets over there. And those will be the prizes based on the 3 questions I have. I really don't like to administer this part, but I'm going to go ahead nonetheless. The first question, if anybody can answer. Yes, except these folks up here. Huh? Oh, we're going to acknowledge them by the raise of a hand, eh? Isn't it, right? Or the first to reach here. How do it? What's the best way to do it? Right? You know, the next man goes to say, boy, my hand up before. Benny, take down your hand. Me not ask the question yet. The first person to reach here, so. Go by the hand. Alright. So we're going to go by the hand. Here is the first question. What is the amount up for distribution at this year's AGM? I see a hand. I see that man down there. That pretty short man. Stand up. Yeah, that's the first hand I saw. Go ahead. Huh? Sorry, sir. You're not correct. 12. I saw a second hand here. Yes, I saw that your hand was second. I am sorry. I saw that third hand there. What you say a while ago? Yeah. 147 what? Cent? All right, come. Yeah. And she is correct. 17,423,147. And as she said, dollars. All right. Question 2. In what year did the credit union celebrated its 30th anniversary? Me not see one hand up. Wait. All right, so yeah, stand up and tell me. 19 when? Me not hearing you clearly. Come up here, let me hear you. Come up, come. Come, me never hear you clearly. Me still not hear you, man. Come up here so me see me hear you. You are correct there. Come for your prize. You are correct. You are correct. Very good. We started out in 1968. So in 1998, we celebrated 30 years. And next year is our grand jubilee. We are in our 49, well, we are in our 50th year as we speak. Here we could ask some, yes, stand right, stay in the middle here. Yeah, we're going to ask a male to present this one. We ask Sir James Golding. Please, sir, if you could present this for us. All right. And when I thought, I am looking at the agenda, when I thought I had one thing left to do, I'm seeing that we have some other things. But it is still early. So we come back to this one. All right, so we're going to break and come back to this one. But I'm going to go back now to our CEO with some rule amendments. Sir. The name of that one a while. What's your name, please, ma'am, for the record? Tashani? Tashani Morrison. All right.
Yes. I'm going to invite you to pages 91, 91. And let me say that this is just not a rule change that we are seeking here. In consultation with the registrar, and let me just explain the intemperate conduct about myself and the rep and the registrar earlier. The disagreement really were the registrar that they believe that the fact that the amount that was presented in the form of a motion, which technically it would be regarded as the original motion. Then what we should have is an amended motion. And if the amended motion succeeded or defeat the original motion, then the amended motion becomes the substantive motion. And technically it would mean that there would be another vote. I like for things to be done correctly. So what was done, therefore, was that this amended motion defeated the original motion by the vote and the support. So we're now going to need for you to vote for the substantive motion, which is the amended motion. So the very motion that what we have now as the motion, I'm going to ask you to vote for it another time. Those who are in favor for as was proposed as the distribution of surplus, those who are in favor, please show your hands. Those against? Remember, let me read it over again. Take you back. I don't know. I'm not so clear today, it seems.
Page 95.
Go to page 95. So the amended motion will be permanent share reserve is 500,000 instead of 300,000. But this motion with the 500 defeated the one that was printed. So now you are now voting for it now as a substantive motion. Those who in favor of the change that was proposed, show your hands, please. All right. Those against? Any abstention? Motion carried. All right. All right. So we are now going to some other aspect of rules change, and the first one, and it's going to take out all the energy out of me this time. Page 91, sorry, is seeking to change the name of the credit union. Yes, again. And page 4, no, rule 4 is seeking to expand the bond of the credit union. Earlier on, Mr. Brown was so bold in his pronouncement that we're not merging. And it is consistent with the very thinking that we have. However, the Credit Union League is championing the cause of mergers. And businesses merge for one of 4 reasons, or maybe 4 reasons, or a combination of 4. You merge to benefit from economies of scale. You merge to benefit from economies of scope. You can also merge for vertical integration, meaning you want to get big. Or you can merge for vertical integration, horizontal integration, meaning you expand broadly. We believe, however, that we want to grow organically, and therefore to just merge for argument's sake, and today incidentally we had the police credit union president, we had the JDF credit union as well, and the correctional services, which is our neighbor across. These 4 credit unions serve the Ministry of National Security. So the 4 of us technically competing for the very space of national security. There's almost over 100,000 public sector employees. Somebody said 120, I said over 100,000 because I know, contraction going on. 4 of us competing for the space of, say, 20,000 employees, which is national security. The public sector, except for the teachers, the nurses, the postal workers, and the 3 credit unions that I mentioned before, and PWD, there's no other credit union that serves the sector in general. Before GSB merged with First Heritage, GSB used to do that. But we believe that one of the reasons why there's the emergence of the microfinances organization that seem to be taking up or eating up market share within our own spheres of operation is because the credit union have contracted. They said that they are consolidating. I believe that we are contracting. We want to exploit those opportunities that is left behind and to beat the microfinance with them. Access Financials, which is one of the public listed company, reported on, I think it was the 9th of June, that they acquire Denmark Microfinance. And one of the reasons why they acquired is to make their entrance into the public sector. Because Denmark, I understand, cater exclusively to the public sector. We, on the other hand, see an opportunity that we want to exploit. Yes, we could merge with the police credit union. I don't think JDF is looking any partner. That's my information. Correctional is looking partners. We are not looking any partners either. What we are seeking to do is to expand. So if you want to be one of our branches, fine. But we want to be the chunk, not the branch. And if we expand and take on others, even the very credit unions that I mentioned, want to be part of us, we are going to be the branch, the chunk, and they are going to be the branches. So we want to make the move now. We don't want mergers to come on our doorstep and we can't say no. Because yes, 2 years ago we had 36 credit unions. Last year we went down to 32. As of April this year we are at 29. So it's showing me understand that the league ideal amount of credit union is about 13. We want to be the 14th one because we're not interested in merging with any of those 13. So we want to make our move and reposition ourselves to be the credit union of choice for all public sector employees. Hence, we propose to you a change in our rule and by extension an expansion of our bond to cater to all employees within the public sector. It is a business opportunity that we want to exploit, but we want to be the parent in this process. I was just joking with Mr. McClacken before he left, and I said to him, I know you want merger and you are seeking us to merge. They have been really courting us, so let me say though, we have not been courting them. But we don't want to be forced to merge with anybody else. So we are now exploiting the opportunities as they are. So we're now seeking your proposal, your support to firstly change the name to the Public Sector Employees Credit Union, and by extension, expand their bond to include all employees within the public sector. This is essentially what Rule 1 is saying and 4. And I was just in consultation with Mr. Webb, and he said of all the rules that we have there, we could take, he would prefer to witness a vote for Rule 1 singly, a vote for Rule 4 singly, a vote for Rule 6 singly, and Rule 64. The others can be taken in block. And you have from pages 91 to pages 94. These are all changes that some of them was initiated by the very registrar himself. And in fact, if I need his help or someone from the registrar, I'll be calling on them to assist. But this rule change requires 75% vote, and it must be counted. It is not like the resolution before, where we had, I counted, yes, but you could succeed in a majority vote. This one requires 3/4 of you to support the motion to change the rules. And we are seeking firstly to change Rule 1. You just send it by. Oh, okay. He's standing to count, because he's the witness here. And he's the police here, not you. All right, so those who are in favor of, well, let us start the debate first. We're now up for debate. Mike is open for debate. Derek, you want to start? We'd like to hear from you now. Come, yes, yeah. Come to the mic, man. Come to the mic.
People want to hear you.
Good evening, my name is Roy Earl.
Oh, Roy, beat him to it then. Roy Earl first, come. Prepare to come now? Just line up behind the mic. Yes.
Some people want to know what are the disadvantages and advantages.
Well, the truth is, as I just said earlier on, we have 4 credit unions competing in the space of national security. The JDF, the Police Credit Union, the Correctional, and the National Security Employees. The advantage here is that you'll have an expanded business, making more profit so we can generate or give more surplus or more returns on your investment. So those are the advantages. So we want to benefit from economy of scale. We want to benefit from economy of scope. We want to have vertical integration, and we like to also expand horizontally. So those are the 4 things that we use by not merging, but expanding.
I understand because changing in from national security to public sector,
Yes.
you got to include all members of public sector can join cooperative.
Yes, yes.
And financial wise,
Yeah, more business.
Better.
More business, yes.
Right.
Yes. All right. Come. Yeah, I take it now. Just name yourself. Name.
The name is Heinz Cecil.
Cecil Hines.
I'm wondering if it's not possible to, if Article 2 is amended.
I didn't hear you.
If Article 2 is amended,
In the rules.
yes, a membership, if we
It's
still
4.
need to amend Article 1.
Yeah, because we want to change the name. The name must have some resonance with what you are seeking to do.
Okay, sir.
All right, good. So Article 2, yes, it's correct, Article 2, but it is in Rule 4 under Article 2. All right, the floor is still open. Yes, yes.
Renard Raymond is the name.
Yes, Mr. Raymond.
My question is, what is the cost associated with the name change?
Except that your envelopes, which is everything now is computerized, so you can just merely go on and change it. Your letterheads, well, the letterhead can be also on your drive. So, and that's, the cost really would be like to change your sign. There's going to be some more money to involve in advertisement, which will result in increased business as well. But it's not anything, it is negligible in, just to answer you bluntly.
And the logo will remain, or that will go as well?
The logo, we're going to keep the logo.
Okay.
All right. All right. There's a change, Mr. He said that he would take 1 6. You don't want 4?
No, 1, 4, 6, and 11.
All right. He want me to mark 1, 4, 6, and 11. And that's as in the book, which is well, as I said, 4 and 1 kind of have some similarity, which makes sense. Yes, Miss Hilton.
Yes, sir. So when you take on all these different public sector people, we will have to move from Union Square to there's some way to move us.
In fact, we are seeking to have maybe branches in every parish because we're going to have numbers. So it is an expansion. Jamaica is now the national landscape for us. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't have to leave Centon and come to Union Square.
But I love Union Square.
I know you love there. That will be the head office. The head office will remain. It is owned by us, so we're not going to just give it away like that.
Yes, sir. But I know we will have to move if we take on all of these people, sir, for us to expand.
No, what you need to have more branches. We are now looking to acquire property in Portmore, to have a branch in Portmore very soon. We are hoping to achieve that maybe before this year.
Okay.
So the expansion is part of the strategy.
How soon will that be, sir?
You mean for this change?
For the location in Portmore.
We are in negotiation with a property owner, so we want to acquire instead of rent, especially having regard to the decision that was made earlier with the increase in capital. It also gives us some fixed asset space.
Also, I can resign and look at jobs.
We can talk about that. All right. So those who in favor of Rule 1, 4, give me that number. 6 and 11. Let me see your hands. And we want to show it. If you don't show it, it can't be counted. And it must be counted. So let us see the hands. You know, vote.
I look for some people on this one, you know,
Put up all your hands in there. You want me to count on off as one?
Miss,
Stand up now, stand up, stand up.
Miss Johnson, your hand is up? Your hand is up? Oh, very good, very good. You have to keep it up, we're counting.
We're counting, you know, we're counting and it must be counted. All right. You're counting already? Okay, good.
I'll work on.
Come on, then, make him turn on.
When in turn, you put your back.
You come this side, Mr. Webb?
You count up yours already, Busha?
You count up this already?
Yeah.
All right, you can put down your hands now. Those against. Those against. Those against. Don't look for me, Mr. Webb. None against. Any abstention? Motion carried unanimously.
What's the result, Mr. Webb?
No, I'm not giving no result. We don't know the result yet. We can keep that inside. We have it.
It has to be 75%
No. If you have 100. If you have a quorum.
75%, you know. 75%.
No, if you have a quorum. You want to vote again? You want to vote again? Tell Mr. Webb, he will accept you. He said he never vote, you want to vote. Of the amount of person here, yes. No, you would have failed. It would fail. Yeah, fail. Remember now, you know, is that it is the number. If the number of persons, it has to be minimum 100. You know, if 100 is less than 100, we have to abort the meeting. So there will be no meeting.
So it passed. 136-4 and 20 abstain. So it is
Are you not sure if it include them? There was no abstention. There was nobody abstain. You know,
yes. So these 0 would be against. And we have 136-4 and the remaining abstention. Because they didn't say yes or no.
Well, it passed, you know, but the registrar have you as 20 abstaining. Is that the case? Just stand up, all who abstained a while ago. All who abstained, stand up.
Because they don't vote.
Because they don't vote.
No, because some of them don't vote. So it's 136-4 and 20 abstain.
Oh, they say you didn't vote, so.
So it passed. And we did 170.
Yeah. Sometimes we're lazy, you know, but we still have it. We succeed, so you don't have to feel bad. All right? Just like the man who just voted a while ago. Don't feel bad. Don't feel too bad. All right. We're online. I'm not sure if they're online, maybe. That's a very brilliant question. All right. We're now going to Rule 64. And I'm going to ask Mr. Webb to come and pilot this one for me. I'm going to ask him to pilot this one for me.
So we are on page 93, and we are looking at Rule 64. Right? So the current rule, I'm going to read it. It's not less than 30 days prior to each annual general meeting, the Board of Directors shall appoint a nominating committee of 3 members, of which not more than 1 may be a member of the existing Board of Directors. It shall be the duty of the nominating committee to nominate at the vacancy for which elections are being held. And the amended to read is on page 93, and it goes to 94, right? The amendment to the current rule is simply allowing a nominating committee to do prior assessment of persons who are going to serve on the statutory committees. That's the board, credit, and supervisory. So what the general meeting is used to and accustomed to, that at the meeting you can vote from the floor. What the amendment will facilitate is that about 60 to 90 days before the meeting, the nominating committee will advertise to the general membership via circular, editorial, emails, text message, that persons who are interested to serve, you can submit your names, and prior and proper vetting will be done. Because what we want to ensure is that persons who are serving, these assessments, they are fit and proper before the day at the meeting. And we also want to ensure that there's a balanced skill set. So the nominating committee will ensure that the board has, legal skill set, human resource, accounting, etc. So it's just to ensure that your board, your statutory committees, your credit and supervisory, meet the fit and proper criteria prior to the annual general meeting. So I hope I'm clear. If there are any concern or any queries with this rule, Rule 64? Rule 64? Any other comments on this amended rule to be amended? All right, so I'm going to ask if there are no other queries or any other concerns. I'm going to ask that the rule be put to the floor and that we need a 75%, which is a special majority. And present, we have 156 persons, so we need at least 117 persons to vote in favor for this rule to be passed. And it's something that the board and the registrar has met, and the board is in favor of such rule. And at this moment, they are proposing this rule amendment to you. So all those in favor for Rule 64 to be amended as read in the AGM booklet, can you please raise your hands? Remember, we need at least 117 persons. So raise your hands for me, please. I'm going to come around and count. Keep your hands up. We're coming. All right, so we have what, 17 here. Everybody upstairs, right? Yes. So we have 17.
We can't take it down outside.
Oh.
We can count here already. They're strong counting.
So those who are against the rule, show of hands. So none against, and we have 121 persons voting for the rule. When you vote for, right, and you vote against, you have no person voting. So the difference from persons who voted for and the remaining of who are in the rule, that's how we get abstentions. So we have 156 persons present, and we have 121 voted for. We have 0 against. So the difference between the 121 and 156 equals 35. So we have 35 persons abstaining. Everybody there? All right, so the remaining aspect of the rules, which is Rule 21 on page 91, the current rule speaks to 3,000 shall be made by check. The amendment is to increase it to $5,000. So that is one rule. It's just a numerical figure has been adjusted. From 3,000, it has been increased to 5,000. So we move on to page 92, Rule 45. The credit committee, the amendment to read is to facilitate more efficiency and effectiveness of the credit administration manager. We now proceed to the current rule for treasurer on page 92, right? The current rule speaks to the treasurer shall be the managing director of the society that no longer operates. So we have amended the rule to speak that the treasurer shall maintain oversight responsibility of the financial affairs of the society and should be sufficiently qualified to carry out such responsibilities. He shall ensure that the financial responsibilities as delegated to management are effectively administered in keeping with best practices, current financial reporting standards, and other standards as may be required from time to time by the regulators. So this rule for the treasurer is to be amended to represent the current operations of national security. Soon to be, when that is registered. And we proceed to page 94, current rule 71, which speaks to the seal of the board of directors shall adopt for the use of the society a distinctive seal having the name of the society inscribed thereon. Subject to the provision of the law and regulation, the board of directors may borrow from any source of such security on such terms of repayment as they think fit, provided the total amount borrowed shall not exceed 16 times the permanent capital and reserve. The seal of the society shall at all times remain in the custody of the treasurer at the registered society. To be amended to read is that the seal of the society, I'm just reading what is being amended, to be amended to read. The seal of the society shall at all times remain in the custody of the chief executive officer at the registered office of the society. And I think that concludes the amendments, right? Are there any concerns or queries?
No, it's a credit union, you know. The credit union is the credit union spending limit. It is really talking about the credit union operation, you know, not individual. Okay. The present will limit $3,000, so we want to put it to, is it 5? What is proposed?
5,000.
5,000.
So there are no other queries. We are going to proceed to the vote. And as we repeat, we have 156 persons, so we need at least 117 persons in favor to vote for, in keeping with the regulations that we need 75 persons, a special majority. So I'm going to ask those in favor for these rules to be passed, kindly vote via show of hands. All right, so 17.
And it's passed. All right. Thank you very much. These are yours, right?
Yes.
Both?
No.
That's one.
One is mine. One is mine.
Yeah. All right. Remember that, remember very expensive eyeglasses. Somebody has misplaced it. It is still here. All right. Very expensive. It's still here. It is your one, sir? Oh, so you have two. All that has happened, all that has happened is a repeat of Alan Magnus way back in early 2000. In fact, the only difference is the distance he traveled as against Alan. Because Alan left studio and went back home. And just as he pulled the door, his wife says, "Then what is that on your face?" All right. We are going well. We have the appointment of auditor or auditors. I'm still at the agenda, so I'm at item 13, the appointment of auditor. We have to appoint an auditor. I tell you about the power of the AGM here. UHY Dorjen has been our auditor for a number of years. Somebody said that Peter Golson is in the room. Is it so? But Peter must honestly tell you, somebody said, "I'm glad you just come." I don't know why. They just said, but good to see you. Crow Howard. HORWATH. Right. So UHY Dorjen has changed its name, and it has nothing to do with all of these name changes that we have done. Right? They have changed their name to Crow Howard. They have been the persons that have in a very prudent, frank, and clear way being our auditors. And so we seek for the AGM to approve them for the year 2017. That too we have to put to the vote. Will we be counting individually, CEO?
No, just nay.
Just a yea and nay. So, how say we for utilization of UHY Dorjen, now Crow Howard, for the continuation of what they do for the year 2017? How say we? Aye. Those against? Any abstention? The ayes have it. So that too has been successful. I still have here an additional basket. Tell me something. That that suitcase over there is part of the prize? Oh, sorry. I still have here a third basket. And after we do the basket, then I have here an envelope where we will be drawing 3 prizes. No longer the early comers prize, but 3 main prizes will be drawn from here in a short while. So let me just get this question out of the way. And again, it's the show of hand. You still have a chance. What was the total asset of the credit union as at December 31, 2016? Not seeing any hand. All right, I see hand over there. Yes, Magart.
No, that man there.
No, that's the first one I saw. Sorry, sir, not correct. What was the other hand? NSECCU. Sorry, sir, it's not 1 million. You said one what? And you said B as in bat? Okay. Oh, you said B as in Brownville? Alright, so you're correct. Come on up. Oh, you have to stay till the end. We're going to ask, oh, is a male? So we ask a female. We're going to ask Miss Makalski. We're going to ask Miss Makalski. One young boy, you're so privileged. You're not only getting a basket, you're getting a lovely lady to present it to you in the Saturday evening here. Yeah, just stay right there. Have a great evening, ma'am. Thanks for being here and take care on the road. Bye-bye. Come, Madam Makalski. Thanks, man. Thanks. Not too bad. She's sleeping now. At home sleeping. I'm in the middle of her. Yeah, she's at home. She was discharged. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes. Just like that. Just like that. Take care later. Thanks so much, man. All right. So we're wrapping up now. We're wrapping up. But 3 lucky persons will walk away with some monies. We join the third prize first. Remind me, please, madam, what's the third prize amount? The third prize is 4,000. The second prize is 6,000. And the big first prize is all of $8 whopping $1,000. So we're going to draw the third prize first, and we want somebody that is independent and all of that. That correctional gentleman, please, Mr. Weeman. So we're drawing the third prize of 4,000 Jamaican dollars. What happened? We pluck a number and we match the number against a name from a list. This is number 66. Who? Warren Wildman. Wildman? Not here. Come back, sir. So we're not putting back this in there. We put it here. Go again, please. This number is 95. Grand Theatre. Or somebody just said theater just come. Well, when I just come here, I know his number is 95. Stand up right where you are. And I'm a squad, you know. Sir Webb, make this presentation for us. You know, alright, Scott, you know, we're not going to leave theater alone. Somebody up here talking about all that is going to be rum and coke. Don't do it, man. You must be, don't do it to me, squaddy. Alright, so we go now to the second prize, which is $6,000. And we're asking JDF, our JDF counterpart, to draw this one for us. He has me say JDF will not go quiet. Don't move with it. This is 158. Delroy Grant. That's you? And let me tell you something. You make sure you come with your ID. And we're going to ask the lovely Miss Brendalyn McFarlane to make this presentation. Yeah, man, you check, say, you know, just sit down there, do this, huh? All of $6,000. Yeah, man, since you can't come on. Yeah, his name is correct, Delroy Grant. I'm a friend, man, I'm a friend. Turn it around here, turn it around. We need to take a photograph for our memoirs. Grant, you look like you're spoiled with camera. You know. All right, and now for the first prize, for all of our whopping $8,000, we're going to ask the GM of Correctional, the lovely GM of Correctional, to do the draw for this one. All right, make sure you copy back, yeah. And this one is 92. Who? Leroy Odeka? Odeka gone. Gone? All right, we shake again. There you go again. This is 165. Who? Patricia Johnson. And we're going to ask Mr. James Brown, Justice James Brown, to make this presentation. That's it. We now know something is here. Honoring the members is here. Stop. Hold on. It done already? No, Sir Brown. Come on, we so take. And I don't know you as a man from years gone. We walk away from females so quickly. Eh? All right. Congratulations, Miss Johnson. And you know where to find me. Okay. Okay, folks, we are at basically the last two also items. One is any other business. Any other business going once? Any other business going twice? Any other business gone? We are in our vote of thanks, saying thanks to so many different persons whose involvement would have made this day successful. And so we ask our board of director, Andrew Johnson, to take the lead in this one.
Good evening, everyone. I realize that you are waiting to hear thank you and then you go. But let me just say, tell you something that I heard. Well, I heard it some time ago and I've heard it repeatedly, so it must be true. Or it has a strong possibility of being true. Reverend gentleman, don't think it's Reverend Faulkner though, was in a jungle one day and a lion spotted him. Started to chase him. And he ran and he ran and he ran. Couldn't escape the lion. So he went onto his knees and he started praying, Lord, please make this be a Christian lion. But when he looked around, he was shocked because the lion was kneeling right behind him and praying, Lord, thank you for this meal you have provided. And I suppose that tells us that we should say thanks for everything, no matter what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give our chairman a resounding round of applause. And this is our way of saying thank you for a job well done, especially under the circumstances in which you did it today. Thank you, sir. We want to also thank Reverend Faulkner, who gave the talk this morning at devotion and led us through a wonderful period and prayer. We say thanks, sir. All our specially invited guests from the various affiliations, the Credit Union League, the other credit unions, the registrar, any other affiliated organization that was here with us, our auditor, we say a big thank you. We want to thank the staff of the credit union, although they are from the credit union, but they worked very hard to make this AGM possible. I want you to give them a round of applause. Our retired officers who are still members of our credit union, commandants, etc., who came and shared the moment to make it as enjoyable as it was. Thank you. Right, and our former commandants, they have never left us out. You know, we want to ensure that, you know, we acknowledge that we appreciate your being with us. Mr. Powell, thank you. And all the former members of the ISCF. Our stenographer, who is always here with us, year after year, what he does is not easy, and he captures verbatim what goes on here. Thank you. To all of you who are present here today, just give yourselves a round of applause. This has been one of the AGMs that has been very vibrant with a lot of participation, and involvement on your part, and it is really essential that you come to the AGMs with that kind of mindset, because you make decisions that are critical to the running of this organization. So you should give yourselves a bigger round of applause. Finally, but not least of all, I want to say thanks to Almighty God for sparing our lives, for giving us health, and for providing for us a wonderful day in which we can come together in brotherhood and enjoy ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
So the 49th annual general meeting of the National Security Employees Cooperative Credit Union, somebody is already saying soon to be public sector employees credit union, stands adjourned. Stands adjourned. Thank you very much. Take care on the road. We now stand for the singing of the national anthem. Eternal Father, bless our land, guide us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers, be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever, Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all, stir response through duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish, give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever, Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Swallow.